All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Thank you for, we might have a little bit of a different audience today. I'm not so sure, but if your routine is a little interrupted here today, we're starting the show an hour later just because of issues with your host. That's me, but not weather-related, just other stuff. So a little bit later, we usually do the show at 3 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but today a 4 o'clock show, and I have to thank my guest, Meghan Foley, very, very much for adjusting her schedule because I know she was ready to go at 3, and she has been nice enough to adjust and work with us here for the later show. So Meghan Foley, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Now, Meghan, you are not only a Newburyport student athlete, you play volleyball, and you got we have a lot of great things to talk about. But let's start there with the volleyball. Your athletic director told me you were a huge part of actually bringing volleyball to Newburyport. Tell me if that's true.
Yes, so that is true, but he was the only reason, essentially, that I actually got it going fully as a varsity team. I brought it to him as an idea of like a club team because I knew there was no way we'd be able to compete at varsity level right off the bat. And yeah, he was so helpful with that.
That is cool. What made you want to bring volleyball to Newburyport so badly, besides the fact that I hear you're very good?
Well, thank you. But basically, this is really funny. I actually just really enjoyed playing in gym class. And
gym class?
Yes, I know. Everyone says that when I tell them. And I really enjoyed it, and I told them that. Wow.
Is that is that with Coach Paul you mean? Is he the gym teacher, or are there several?
Yeah, there's a few gym teachers, so I had all of them.
Okay, so the high school volleyball, and you were probably dominating, I'm guessing, so that's part of the reason why?
Yeah, well, it's very different than real volleyball, but I really just enjoyed it.
Well, that is cool. So you must be pretty proud about that, because now you're talking MIAA, you got these big games with, the Tritons of the world and all these big communities. That must be kind of rewarding and maybe something you'll even look back on in a few years and be like, well, that's pretty cool of me to have started or helped start.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty surreal. I had no idea that it would be this successful.
And how about your athletic director, Kyle Hodgson? I know we were talking a little bit off the air, but you said obviously without his willingness to do something like that, this never happens. So that's I know you have pretty good things to say about him as well.
Yes, I could not have asked for a better athletic director. He was so open to the idea, and that just goes to show how good Newburyport is at allowing students to have a voice and be able to start new things. So,
well, how many? So, do you have a lot of interest with the volleyball now? Do you have big numbers and big turnouts, or is that kind of an effort to try to always get new people, or how does that working out?
Well, it was shocking of the amount of girls who were interested in
playing.
I was so shocked. He was shocked. My coach was shocked. It was crazy. There were 40 girls who wanted to play.
40?
Yeah.
Wow. And how many play on a volleyball court at once?
It's 6 on a court at a time.
6,
so
wow.
Yeah, we were worried we wouldn't have enough girls, and then we were blown away by the fact that we had way too many.
So do you suddenly have JV teams and freshman teams and all that stuff?
Yes. So this year we had varsity, JV, and then we had another club team.
Okay.
So they didn't compete competitively, but they got to learn skills and stuff. It was a lot of freshmen. So yeah, we had a lot of teams.
Wow, that is crazy. It's so that must be, I can't imagine the 40 kids and your coach is probably a new coach going, what am I supposed to do with 40 kids? Yeah,
so Lori Salazzo was the coach both years. She started teaching us
I know
at
her.
the club level. Yeah,
She coached
softball.
Softball, right? Okay.
And it's actually really funny because she stopped. She stopped coaching softball, but then because she wanted to spend more time with her little kids. And then she finds out we have a volleyball team coming, and she just couldn't resist. And she just had to coach, and she is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Because she dealt with so much. No one knew what they were doing, and she completely just turned us around.
Did she used to play volleyball? She have a background?
Yes, she played in college, so she's very good. She's very experienced, so.
How about you? Any interest in? You're a senior now, so has this kind of spawned a new idea of maybe playing any college or at least club or something?
I would definitely be interested in trying to do club or intramurals or something like that in college.
It is funny, the volleyball thing, because I went to Danvers High, so I graduated in 2005. which is, obviously a long time ago, but I have my niece is now at high school at Danvers as a freshman, and now she's playing volleyball at Danvers. And I said, wow, I don't remember volleyball. We definitely did not have volleyball. Yeah. So it seems like a lot of different communities are kind of jumping on and having volleyball programs, which is cool.
Yes, I would definitely say it's growing.
Yeah, and nationwide it's growing at the high school level. So we have a lot. Part of the other reason why we had you on, we'll get back to the volleyball stuff as we go. But you have this. You did this great fundraiser that you guys. I know. I think you wear T-shirts before the game. But you have a neighbor who has a very uncommon disease. I was learning a little bit about it before you came on the show, but I was reading about it, and I'll let you explain it. But anyways, you're really helping out your neighbor with a fundraising campaign, and it's just a great thing you've done. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it and how this all played out?
Yeah. So. My neighbor, Robbie, she was 3 at the time of our season, and she was diagnosed with SPG 47. She was known to be the 10th person in the entire world.
Very rare.
Yes, extremely rare. And like when I found out, all I wanted to do was help. But the amount of funding they needed and money they needed was just like, I had no idea how to do that or reach that, but I knew that I could raise awareness.
Yep. And
by doing that, people would hear about it, people would donate, and hopefully it would help her. So I automatically thought of volleyball, and using it as a way, like the press sort of that the sports in high school get as a way to just tell people in Newburyport and surrounding towns of what the disease is. And I couldn't have asked for a better turnout and a better team who embraced her and the idea anymore. And
here you are raising more awareness about it right now. What was your neighbor's name again? No, what was the neighbor's name?
Robbie Edwards.
Robbie Edwards, okay. Yes. And it is, I mean, you talked about how rare it is. So what do you girls do? I think you had T-shirts and stuff made and all that you wear before every game. That's so great.
Yeah, so we designed T-shirts and wore them before every game during our warm-ups, and they say, "We play for Robbie." And then we also had a big trifold board that had just all the information about SPG 47 so that every fan walking in would see that and hopefully read about it and educate themselves.
Which is, for those of you who want the official term, it's hereditary spastic paraplegia. Type 47, so that's where you said that. So yeah, I actually had to do some reading about it myself. It is so 10 people, is that right? About 10?
So yes, when she was diagnosed, she was known as the 10th person and the only one in the United States also. They did find another family. Her parents found another family through a Facebook group whose daughter, same age, had the exact same type of hereditary spastic paraplegia, which is just, it's crazy that they found each other. Yeah. And that's when they found each other is when they decided to start a nonprofit called Cure SPG 47.
Okay. And we have a lot of let's face it, you're a very busy person in high school. You have not only the athletics, but school. And a lot of high school kids hear about these stories like this, and even if they're close to the person, it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world for a high schooler to kind of rally themselves and start kind of a movement like this. What makes you go in that direction to want to help out and kind of say, I'm not busy enough. I would like to do more and help my neighbor out here. What makes you go in that direction?
Well, the way I like to think about it is that Robbie is only 3 years old, and she is probably just as busy as me, if not busier than me, because she goes to all kinds of appointments and physical therapy. She does a lot of speech therapy. She's just all over the place all the time. And you know what? If she can do it, I can do it too.
Wow. There you go. Yeah. Well said.
Thank you.
3 years old. So did you know her from the time she was born and everything?
Since she was born.
Gotcha. So you guys are obviously very close. Did she ever talk to you or say, give you the thumbs up, that sort of thing?
So she can communicate, even though it's very hard for her because with the disease, it's neurodegenerative. So it can affect not only her movement, but also mental aspects of it. But she definitely can remember people. She loves people. She is happy.
You get a big smile when you...
Absolutely. She is the cutest and most happiest girl in the world.
Yeah, and How receptive to it was the rest of the teammates? Did you have teammates just asking you questions, wanting to learn more? I'm sure we're in, but tell me more about this. What are we doing?
So the way that I presented it to my team was I showed them a video of that Robbie's parents did with a team of people.
Wow,
that
good
basically,
idea.
Yeah, that basically explained it and just showed, how Robbie is still just like every other child, living her life, enjoying it. And I showed it to them, and they were just absolutely so open to the idea, and everyone wanted to help, and everyone loved it, so I couldn't have asked for a better response.
That is great. And you must be, it seems like you're a great leader, too. Are you a captain? I didn't even ask that. Are you a captain of the volleyball team, or do they have captains? I don't even know.
Well, the way it started was for club team, we didn't compete as much, but we were captains for that part. And then this year we have Paige Goldthorpe and Grace Potvin, who are both absolutely amazing, and they were super excited about the idea as well.
Okay, well, I was going to say you're obviously a leader on the team. That kind of goes without saying when you're doing something like this. And I'm guessing your coach was on board as well. She must think it's the coolest thing, because not only, that's kind of like a coach's best case scenario when you have kids like this that not only care about the sport and school, but also care about other people. It's kind of a great thing.
She was totally open to it. She loved the idea. Robbie actually came to one of our practices.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was just so adorable, and everyone just loved her, and we were like this little happy little family hanging out with her and rolling the balls to her and stuff.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great story. We're flying by here. I always say this is like the fastest hour in radio here, so you won't believe how quickly it goes by, even when you were expecting to be on at 3 o'clock. But we'll take our first break right here. We have Meghan Foley on. You're hearing a couple great stories here about volleyball and some great off the court campaigns as well. So we got a lot more to talk about. We'll be back. This is Afternoon Drive. It's a little bit of an hour later version of Afternoon Drive today. My apologies for those of you that screwed up their schedule. My bad. It was an operator error. But we'll be back Thursday at 3 o'clock as well. But much more with Meghan Foley in just a moment here. It's Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. Keep it here. All right. Welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on WJOPs Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. It's a real afternoon edition here as we're getting a little bit of a later start on this Tuesday afternoon. A rainy, cold, kind of raw, sleet-like day here in Newburyport. Not too pleasant, but it's nice to be inside having a great show here with Meghan Foley of Newburyport, student athlete, a senior Newburyport Clipper. We just talked about the volleyball team that she really helped start, and some of the great stuff that she's been able to do through the volleyball team, including a awareness campaign for her neighbor. But Meghan, we were just talking. So volleyball, I'm learning a little bit about volleyball as we go, because again, we didn't have it as when I was in school back in the day. So it's a fall sport, you said, right?
Yes, it's fall.
So what do we do now in the wintertime? Are you if it's basketball, I know we're getting to the local gym and we're playing pickup games. Are you girls doing that, or?
So yes, we've always talked about trying to pick up games, but as for gym time and putting the net up, it is pretty hard to find gym space and time where everyone can be there, because you have to have the specific net and you have to have the specific gym where the poles drill into the hole. So it's pretty hard to get the certain timing and space.
Who would have thought a little thing like that, huh?
I know.
So that actually is, people actually probably don't usually think of that as being an issue, but it probably is a pain in the neck. I know if we're having like a cookout, it's really hard to put up a volleyball net.
I know. It's a lot harder than you think.
Speaking of that, during the summertime, you must be a very popular cookout pickup volleyball player, am I right?
Definitely a lot of beach volleyball. It's really fun.
Beach volleyball, that's okay. There you go. So an Olympic sport now, so you can
maybe one day.
Maybe one day. It's still a relatively new program since you kind of started launching it. Do you remember you were a freshman when you brought that to the table for the first time?
I was a freshman for the first time, and then my sophomore year is when it actually really started to kick off. Okay. What's that? I know you want a program to start, but as a freshman, it must be kind of nerve-wracking. You're not exactly a lot of changes. You're jumping into a high school, which everybody knows the middle school to high school transition is not easy. And then you, as a youngster, you have this idea I would like to start a new program here. That's kind of gutsy. I know. Yeah, I don't even really know where it came from. I just really enjoyed it in gym, and I figured I might as well just ask that.
It's as simple as the gym class.
It seriously is that simple.
Had you ever I mean, Cookouts Beach? Did you play like as a youngster, or was it really that kind of like, you know what, I'm really good at this?
Yeah, I guess I just really enjoyed like the messing around aspect of it, just playing like backyard stuff, and I just really liked it.
And you said, let's make this a full-time thing. And now, usually, if you're a volleyball player, you're a good volleyball player like you are. You're a very good athlete. Did you get like recruited to play winter basketball, or do you play any other sports? Or
well, I have definitely always been asked if I play basketball since I was very young because I'm so tall, and it always kind of just made me mad because I never have played basketball.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But I have never played basketball before, and I always get the question about playing basketball. And
never played? Just never interested?
I guess not.
More of a spiker than a shooter?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I'm sure you're right. If you have a height and you're athletic, any coach, I'm sure, wants you to be the center on the team. But volleyball is your choice. What do you learn from volleyball? Like I always think there's like a lot of like secret signals, and there's, if you watch it on TV, you see like, maybe like a signal behind the back, or there is more to it than just let's serve it up and kind of wing it, right? It's some complexities to it.
There is absolutely so much communication that is needed between teammates to be successful, and that was the hardest part, I think, for us.
What, because just learning new people that have never played together before?
I think it's because we had never really played competitively as a team, and we all didn't have that much experience knowing like around the court and knowing where to be, when to be there, and things like that. So that was our biggest struggle. So
you were all aimlessly running around for a little while to start things off? Or?
Yes. We definitely improved a lot through the season just by knowing where to be. And, our real positions.
Real positions.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I really mean it when I say that none of us had any experience. It is all thanks to Coach Slazo, because absolutely none of us knew what we were doing when we first started.
That like first practice, did she shake her head and say, what have I gotten myself into?
Yes. Our first ever practice, there were probably like 30 to 40 of us crammed in the Knock Middle School gym.
Yep. She was expecting 8 of you or something, right?
Yeah, she was expecting probably like 16 girls, and she got like 30 to 40, and none of us knew what we were doing. And she was like, oh, great.
That is too funny. So, and I mean, you rotate though in volleyball too, right? So it's not like you're playing one position. So do you actually have to like know 6 different positions, or is it more kind of like a general concept idea?
Yeah, so the way that you rotate is, front row, back row, you have your position in either. So if I'm a middle hitter, even when I rotate and I'm rotating through and I'm on the right side of the court, I have to start there. But as soon as the whistle blows and the ball goes over the net, I move back into the middle. So that was also very hard to learn how to get down. And there was a lot of confusion in that aspect as well. But we managed to figure it out.
That is pretty crazy. So this was as raw as it gets when you were all jumping into this. And that was your freshman year or sophomore year? Sophomore.
Well, junior year is when we actually had the club team started. So we've only had club team my junior year, and then varsity team my senior year.
So this is still so early on. It's early on, but it has been a couple of years. Yeah. Have we seen improvements as far as organization?
Yes, absolutely. There has been improvements.
I was really hoping that answer was yes.
Since the first practice, we have improved.
Your coach probably would not have made it if there were no improvements. Is it like a really close knit team too? Do you all like hang out all the time together and that sort of thing?
Yes, absolutely. I could not have asked for a better team. We were just best friends always. Pasta parties all the time. We would hang out. We all would carpool together. Saturday practices, we'd all go to Abe's after, and we just loved hanging out together. We were very close.
That is cool. It's funny, the pasta parties are like, they were big when I was in high school, but I must say the Newburyport kids are like, nobody misses a pasta party. And all the teams are like, they're like, we don't miss them. There's like rankings of who has the best ones, which that might have been me. I was trying to see who has the best pasta parties in town. But so who has the best pasta parties on the volleyball side?
Well,
tough one, I know.
That is tough, but I'm trying to think. We had
you don't have to answer. I'm sure they're all.
We had some homemade ice cream cake at Grace Poppins, so that was delicious.
That's almost cheating, though.
I know.
You
so
throw
she might win.
You throw ice cream cake into the mix. Who was that again?
Grace Potvin.
Grace Potvin. Okay. All right. So she's going to be well known as the the go-to house for now on that front. But it's a close team. It is cool. I mean, it's to have a. I always say that it seems like the athletes are. It's like just built in like friends on a daily basis. You know, I'm sure you feel that way with the volleyball kids as well.
Definitely.
How about the boys? Is there a boys team? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off on the.
No, it's really okay.
It's funny. I hadn't thought about it until I'm sitting here with you the whole time. But.
It's actually funny that you asked that because when I was a junior and we started doing the club team, I had a brother who was a senior, and he would mess around with me and be like, I'm playing on the girls volleyball team, because there's, that myth that if there's not a boys volleyball team that they can always play with the girls team. Yep. And so he was always like, I'm playing on your team, because it's so funny. Everyone loves volleyball. I find that like everyone wants to play. And so he would always mess around with me about that. And yeah, it was funny. It
is true. We used to love I feel like I have missed out on something being not having volleyball when I was in high school. I feel like we would have had a really fun time with it. I have a buddy, Jamie, who used to have summertime once a year, summertime cookout more than once a year, like a couple times a summer. And he would always have like the best volleyball net. We'd literally play for like hours. Yeah. Like we'd play, go grill, come back, play. Like it would just be, the whole party would revolve around volleyball. Yes. And it was great. We loved it. And hello to Jamie out there in Washington, D.C. But he'll enjoy the shout out. But so what is the coolest thing about being on this team and being part of the volleyball program that like we might not know? Like what's kind of like the sidebar story that you wouldn't think this, but... Well,
we have a motto, and it's make something out of nothing. That is our motto.
Very nice. Who came up with that? You?
It was weird. It just... My coach said it at one practice when we were having like a little pep talk, because she was getting pretty frustrated with us because we weren't winning.
Bad day.
Yes, and it started with like the usual kind of coach's mad talk, and then it turned into like the inspirational talk where she gave us the motto, make something out of nothing.
Okay, so we can attribute that to coach. And what is this something that we're yelling at every practice, or like yelling when times get tough? What is it?
So our last game was against Triton, and yes,
a victory.
It was a victory. And so the way that the match started, though, was not looking too good from the beginning, because we had lost the first two games, the first two sets, but you need to win 3 to overall win. So
pretty much a tennis format then, right?
Yes, it's a lot like that. So what happened was we were down, and we all our team would sink into this kind of like funk where we just felt, just kind of like half giving up, but not really. And when we were in the huddle, that's exactly what she said to us. She was like, you guys, this is your last game, and you need to make something out of nothing, because we had won no matches, and then we made something out of nothing. First
the rival Triton. Yeah. Not a bad time to do it.
Not a bad time at all. So that was extremely exciting.
I always ask the Newburyport kids, and Triton, it's funny, Triton tends to be the answer to this, although it's kind of a leading question, I guess, as we talk about Triton. But who do you most like to beat? Like, what's the rival? And it is funny, I always think it's going to be Triton, although a lot of other teams do sneak in. There's a lot of rivalries in this neck of the woods. But who is it? Who is it for you? Who's like the team that kind of annoys you in that competitive way?
For volleyball, I would have to go with Georgetown.
Another one that comes off quite often. That's interesting.
That is because going into the season being like the most unexperienced team, we really felt like we could beat Georgetown. And we came really close every time and still lost both matches. So that is just kind of my itch where
Georgetown.
I really would like to be Georgetown.
All right. Well, very good. You can probably play them at the beach in the summertime too. Get a little pickup game going. And I was reading a message from I talk quite often with Kyle Hodgson, your athletic director, and he kind of preps me a lot of times when he gives me a story that we just have to follow, which is in this case yours. I know you came in here like I have no idea what exactly we're talking about, but this is exactly how it works. It's just a nice conversation like this. And again, we're talking with Meghan Foley, Newburyport volleyball player, student athlete, and all around awesome student, and awesome interview, by the way. You're very smooth here. Ever think of a radio career?
I know. Possibly.
You said you were nervous too. That is not coming across. Everybody says they're nervous, but
I was nervous though. I really didn't know what I was walking into.
It's pretty easy. It's just just talking. It's the but Kyle was telling me though that the program in just the last couple of years to have a freshman JV and varsity program in that short of a time period is very rare to have like a program explode like that. And, he's only been at Newburyport a few years. Has he even been there the whole time you've been there?
No.
You had 1 year under Bob Clark, right?
Yes.
So that's how new he is. He's just, 3 years in.
Yeah.
And I know he was an athletic director somewhere else. So he's been around, and he knows as well as I do, to have like this kind of a big program already so soon. It's crazy. And it's awesome that, obviously you were poking into the right waters here, knowing that there was a market for it. That must make you very proud.
Yes. So like I said, the numbers were absolutely shocking.
It does help when you have 40 people come out. But
yes, I had...
Were you even surprised by that? You must have been surprised.
I was so surprised because when I went to Hodgson, he told me sort of like, if you can get me a certain amount of girls that are interested, I can really push for this to happen.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, and I was like, I'll do it. And so I went home and I made a Facebook group and I just added as many girls in the school as I could.
Yep.
And I was so surprised.
Did you get the feeling right then on Facebook that, wow, there's like a lot of people coming back at me here?
Yeah. I had them all like put their emails and their numbers and their names, and I handed that into Hodgson. And when I was shocked when I was writing it up, and then when I brought it into him, he was even like more shocked. Like, are you serious? All these people are interested?
I'm sure he was surprised. Yeah. He probably thought you were lying about some of the signatures.
I know. Probably thought I faked them.
And it is. It's cool. How's like the volleyball schedule? Are you playing like a couple times a week? Is it it seems like all the seasons they do kind of pack it in a short period of time. Are you at the gym every day practicing and then a game twice a week? How's it work?
It was usually 2 games a week, and then 2 games during the week and 3 practices during the week after school from 3 to 5, and then Saturday practices from about 8 to 10. I believe that's what the times were.
Okay, so that's kind of a cool schedule. Do you find it when you got the school thing going on, is it sometimes overwhelming or?
Yeah, it was
yes, it is.
It was definitely a lot, and I was very busy. But honestly, I think while doing the sport, I stay very productive because exercising and stuff, and then going right from school to practice to home, I'm just like in that like on a roll, and I just do my homework right when I get home. So I think I'm more productive during the season.
What are those, the endorphins kicking in and all that stuff? What would you tell, it's crazy that for me, I'm just trying to picture like freshman Drew like doing what you did. I wasn't necessarily quiet, but I certainly was not ready to be like, hey, athletic director, we need to start a new program. It seems to be like, I'm just kind of it's just such a great thing and like a courageous thing to do. I wonder, like, what would you tell like the middle school girl that's looking at you girls and being like, you know what, volleyball seems cool. I want in. How do I do this? How do you become you?
I would definitely say that for volleyball, it really helps when you do like winter clinics or a summer league type thing. So me and a few of my friends, we did a camp over the summer, and that just absolutely prepared us a lot, and that was very helpful. So I would say get as much experience as you can before you go to
as much experience.
Yeah.
And you could also say that you've already done the hard work and created the program, so you just have to come play, right?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Well, we're got one more break here. We're flying along. Again, this is Meghan Foley of Newburyport Clippers volleyball student athlete, and she's been great here so far. We actually a new thing again. This show is, as you're noticing, we're in this hour later than we usually are here. We kicked off at 4:00 because of some issues on my end. So usually it's a 3:00 show every Tuesday and Thursday. Hello to everybody on the television as well. This is Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio with our guest, Meghan Foley. We're going to take our last break here, and then we'll come back and we'll finish strong. I'm not sure what we'll talk about next, but we've been figuring something out. It's been very easy here on this particular day. Don't forget, at Joppa Afternoons is the Twitter handle, at Joppa Afternoons. I just tweeted a link, actually, on the Twitter handle, and this is something that I think we are going to be able to keep doing for every show. We kind of keep growing and adding new technologies and stuff here. And the YouTube Port Media stream is up, and I know you see me post a lot of the taped versions, so you can watch them at any time, which is also very cool. But if you're driving or something, and you can YouTube and you can don't watch it as you're driving. That's terrible advice. I don't know why I would say such a thing. If you're a passenger in a car, you can pull it up on the phone and you can watch the live stream of the show from the link that I just sent. That's the Port Media YouTube channel. So live on the TV, live on the stream, live on the radio. Afternoon Drive with Drew Moholland. Keep it here. We'll be right back. Much more with Meghan Foley just ahead. All right. Welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Final segment on the fastest hour in radio. As I say, our guest is Meghan Foley. She has been great. Her athletic director, Kyle Hodgson at Newburyport, credits her with really starting the volleyball program over there. So all you middle school and elementary school girls who will be stepping into playing volleyball someday at Newburyport, you can all come back and thank Meghan in 5 years, 10 years, whenever, because she's the reason why. There you go. Meghan, during the break, we had to kind of hustle back in here. Yeah, I mean, Mom is watching. You should say hello to Mom.
Mom is for sure watching. Hi, Mom.
There you go. Good wave and everything. See, we had I remember Sam Aquaviva. You know him at Newburyport, the runner. We had him on one day, and it's a funny story. We did just like this, like a full hour, that sort of thing, back and forth conversation. And at the end of the show, he's thinking to himself, and I could tell, we're done. We're walking out, and I'm like, all right, you can come out now. And Sam looks at me. He goes, shoot. I said, what do we do? He goes, I forgot to give Mom a shout out.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was very funny. So I actually did it the next show for him to try to cover it. But good job. So the long phone conversation, everything okay?
Yes.
Posture's good?
Yep. She said I'm doing great.
You are doing great. Very good.
Thank you.
Let's see. We got a few minutes left here. It does go by quickly, let me tell you. Winter plans here, first of all. What are you doing as a volleyball player to stay in volleyball shape? How does this work as a volleyball player?
Well, I definitely wish I was doing more because I've been spending a lot of the winter.
So do I.
I know. Yes. I've definitely been spending a lot of the winter going snowboarding, skiing, not very volleyball related.
Well, that's okay. You're active.
Yes, it's better than nothing.
Is that those are the hobbies, though? You like hitting the slopes for the wintertime?
Yes, for sure. And I get to go with a lot of my friends, and we sometimes end up just sledding down. So it's fun. Is it?
Is Bradford the easy mountain here, or?
Well, I have a friend with a house at Sunday River, so we go up there a lot. Nice. Yeah, so we've got a nice spot up there, so that's fun. That's
a good friend to have. You can shout out to her or him.
That would be Emma Fortuna. She's great.
Emma may have a lot more friends by the time tomorrow comes around. Well, that's cool. So how about let's go back to the actual charity thing that we talked about earlier too, because I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about your neighbor who you started this great fundraising campaign for. And maybe there's another spot for a shout out right there. You want to do that?
Yes. I would definitely like to give a shout out to Casey, Chris, which are the parents, and Davis, who's Robbie's older brother. He is one of my best friends ever. So hello to all. And of course, a shout out to Robbie.
I see You're getting way too comfortable now. You're actually working the cameras on both sides. This is officially no longer in nervous territory. So
Yeah.
you are good now. So that's so cool. But is this something I wonder after you, I mean, this was definitely a thing that was started by you. Do you think it's something that maybe they'll keep up with after you leave, or does it kind of end with you and maybe go to another thing? Maybe you don't even know the answer to that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I honestly am not sure. I couldn't really tell you for sure, but I definitely would hope that the girls who will be captains next year will try to keep some of the racing going.
At least it's nice to have like a culture of like kind of giving back, even if it's not one campaign all the time. At least it seems like you have a group that's really into giving back to the community, which I know is really cool, actually.
Absolutely.
Being a part of this Newburyport community and being on an athletic team at the varsity level is very like automatically you're a big part of it. You're in newspapers. People are reading about you over coffee at the and it's people are already talking about you just because you are on a varsity team in a closely knit community. What has it been like being a Newburyport student athlete?
Well, I would not want it any other way. I love the way that our athletics are set up, and I think that Kyle Hodgson does such a great job making sure that there's so many different varieties of teams out there, and it is so crazy how close teams get at Newburyport. It's like all little mini families.
They really are. I don't know if that has to do with maybe the amount of pasta parties too, but it really is cool. All the teams really seem tight. I haven't met like one team. Sometimes you can tell just in recent years anyway. Sometimes you can tell if like a group is kind of faking it. Like we're teammates, but I don't really like this person. I haven't really seen much of that in recent. I don't know if it's like a good batch of Newburyport kids right now, but it seems like everybody genuinely likes each other. Like the teams tend to be close friends and all that. Is that kind of, do I have the pulse right there of inside the halls of Newburyport right now?
Yes. So there are so many like things that you can do on a sports team at Newburyport. On the day that you have games, you dress up and all kinds of crazy things. Like we would do USA Day, or we would dress up as hippies, or all this. That
must have been an interesting one.
Like just crazy fun stuff, and it really brings you together as a team, and it makes all the difference. Who
gets the final decision on what the theme day is going to be?
Well, we usually all pick as a group, so everyone's got an equal say.
And your choice this year was?
Well, we did a lot. We do like blackout, where you wear like the eye black. We did camo day. We did USA Day. We did hippie day. We did Hawaiian shirt day. So we did a lot of those, which was super fun.
I am a diehard Hawaiian shirt fan. It just makes me think like vacations and everything. My wife hates them.
Really?
Yeah. So we. I
like them.
I do too.
Yeah.
Maybe she just hates my particular selection. Which is, but I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe you'd agree. I'm not sure. Again, we're talking with Meghan Foley, Newburyport athletics volleyball interview star now, and she's joining us here on this Tuesday afternoon on Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. I wonder, when the volleyball season like kicks into gear and then it ends so quickly, it always seems quickly. The season just fly by, especially when you're an upperclassman, right?
Yes.
You try to soak in like every last minute, but like junior, senior year go by like that, right?
It absolutely it flew by, and I mean, last game, everyone was crying. Everyone was crying at the banquet. It felt like a blink of the eye. It flew by so fast.
It really does. It's not when you're like going through it in those early years. It feels like you got this long run ahead of you. What would you talked about what it takes to be a good volleyball player, put in the work, off season, all that stuff. How about just like being a Newburyport student athlete though? Would you like, for the person that's maybe not into it, like what benefits have you taken from being an athlete at Newburyport?
Well, I would definitely say that any team you join at Newburyport High School, they treat you like family. Yeah. And teams have the tightest bond, and you'll automatically make friends with so many people.
Do you have, is there like a lot of fan support? It seems like every event we go to, I can imagine that maybe when you're just have a new program like volleyball, again, just a couple of years old, I can imagine it's a little bit tough to maybe get that initial fan support just because it's such a new thing. It's if something's new, it takes a little while to catch on. How was the fan support? Did you see it growing as you went, or?
I would say that it was okay. For being the first year sport, I wasn't expecting anything.
Yep.
But
mom and dad, they were there.
Mom and dad were there every game. But you would see other students and you would see other student athletes coming from like their practice out on the field and come in to watch. What if it was the last half of our match or the first half? There was definitely, you would recognize faces there, which was awesome. Gotcha.
Speaking of, as I say, mom and dad, you should, I don't want to fight at the dinner table. I don't think you gave dad a shout out. Mom called, but your dad's been here with you the whole time.
My dad is here, so I will give him a shout out for coming and being supportive.
He's giving up a whole chunk of his afternoon because we had to push this back an hour. So thank you to dad as well. He's been cool to stick around here, and we tried to turn it up in the waiting area out there so you can listen in for you. So that is very cool, and it is really important too, isn't it, to have like the family support? It just makes things so much easier when you have supportive parents and brothers, sisters, that sort of thing. What do you mentioned you have an older brother?
Yes, I have an older brother.
Is that you? So you're one of two?
Yep, just one of two. And my parents were so supportive of the idea, taking it to the athletic director, and they helped a lot.
Does even big brother come every now and then when he can, or?
Well, big brother was off in Virginia at Virginia Tech, so he didn't make it to any of the games, and
My sister just got back from Virginia Tech. Well, she worked there for 5 years.
Wow.
They definitely crossed paths, and he just got. How old is he?
He is a freshman there now.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So, well, yeah, she worked there this year and just finished. So that's interesting. She says she loved it, but we got her back now. She's home for good now. She did like 6 years there. So younger sister as well. That was the dynamic for me as well. My sister was a soccer goaltender, and I don't know, maybe this is a benefit of him living out there. He doesn't have to come watch you, but I used to get very, I played my own sports at high school, but I would get very nervous watching my younger sister. I don't know. Yeah. I think because she was the goalie maybe in soccer, and it was just kind of, especially like for the big games, and I don't know, it was like a weird nervousness, not like genuine nervousness, but I was like, I would rather be playing. I like it to be in my control. Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever have those experiences growing up where it was like, whether you're watching any of his stuff or?
I definitely watched a lot of his lacrosse games because my dad was also the coach of his like Little League lacrosse games.
Oh, okay.
So I was there a lot at his practices even, and I remember I loved to watch him play lacrosse, so I always would go to his sporting events.
Always went to the lacrosse games? Yeah. So you said you didn't get to too many volleyball games just because of
he missed all of
location.
them.
Well, maybe. So what is the deal with the colleges? You're at that point here where what time of year are we? You're probably like really seriously looking?
Yes.
Or close maybe? What, if you don't mind me asking?
The two FAR schools that I have applied to and gotten accepted to are Michigan State and East Carolina University. Wow.
Well, that's exciting. Do you want to go far away, or still that's kind of what we're grappling with?
Yeah, so I absolutely love Michigan State, and I would love to be there, but
Spartan.
A Spartan, but I'm still trying to, figure out all my options first.
We get a lot of people throwing schools at us, and actually Michigan State is not, I haven't really heard one.
Really?
Do you know any people there from Newburyport, or?
Actually, one of my great childhood friends goes there. She is 2 years ahead of me, and she absolutely loves it. So
been bouncing a lot of stuff off her.
Yes.
Did you already you did the full visit and everything?
I'm going in early February to go and visit, so I'll see her then. And
Mom, Dad, whole family affair?
Mom will be there. Mom will definitely be there.
Mom's going?
Yep.
Girl trip? All right. Very good. Well, it's a lot of, it's fun pressure. I liked the college trips. It can be a little crazy actually deciding, but kind of a big decision.
It's definitely a pretty big decision, so I'm pretty nervous.
It tends to work out. You tend to make the right one, but well, that's good. And if you stay local, or are you definitely not staying local? You'd like to get away, or we've kind of ruled that out?
I might stay local. There's options like URI, UNH, so it's a possibility that I would stay local.
Does volleyball come into play at all?
Well, I'm pretty sure all the schools do have intramurals and club teams, so I'm pretty sure I will be happy with that wherever.
Looking to just play a club team. Those could be so much fun too.
Yeah.
And competitive, actually.
Yes, I've heard that they actually can get competitive if you make them get competitive, so that would be fun. I actually always found that no matter what, they were competitive. Maybe just the ones we were playing, but yeah. So what? Final minute here, Meghan Foley. Again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been great. Really great interview. Just starting the volleyball team, incredible accomplishment. And I know you were modest about it and saying Kyle was such a big role in it, but he really does give all the credit to you on that front. He said this was a nice guy. He said this does not happen without you. We have 3 programs now because of you, and you did this great thing for your neighbor in raising awareness for a very rare disease. So you're kind of like an all-around awesome person. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for waiting for us an extra hour too. That was just very sweet of you when we had some issues on our side. So 4 p.m. start. Final thing. I guess I always do like to end with like you're a senior. It's kind of nice I'm trying to hopefully, and I kind of see this happening, having a lot of like the young kids kind of watching and being into this. Best advice for that middle schooler. I know you talked about what to do to train to be a good volleyball player, but best advice to be a good Newburyport student athlete or any student athlete in the area.
I would probably say keep school first.
Great answer.
Yeah, no, but honestly, I would say keep your grades up because they're very important. And I know that now looking at colleges, your grades are very important. So remember those always and just enjoy it because it went by way too fast for me.
Very good. And no freshman slumps. Those can happen, right?
I know.
That goes for college as well.
I know.
Mom will appreciate me telling you that. Well, Meghan Foley, thank you so much. That was really great. We look forward to maybe speaking with you again down the line. And maybe when the volleyball program explodes someday, we'll have you back on and we can trace the roots back to you, all right? And again, thank you so much for sticking around. It was very sweet of you. That's going to do it. Fastest hour in radio right there, folks. Thank you to everybody on the stream. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around if you were waiting at 3 o'clock and we were a little behind today. I apologize. It was completely on me, the issues that we had to put the show back. So I would like to guarantee that it won't happen again, but it may happen again, although hopefully not. I really do appreciate you all sticking around, and especially thank you to Meghan Foley for sticking around and being our great guest today. Follow the show at Joppa Afternoons on the Twitter. We'll tweet some more stuff out here after the show. Get caught up on some YouTube postings as well. Thank you so much, Meghan Foley. Again, awesome guest, and we will see you Thursday, 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. I promise I will be there. 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. This has been Afternoon Drive. I'm Drew Moholland. We'll see you Thursday.